A meaningful farewell is given to Aunt Bernice, the facies, and the eminent view of the Trinity and Marble Mountains from Etna. The embarkation finding the family leaving the wondrous mountain-locked Scott Valley, christened Shangri-La, the Wilson family again traversing Wairika Mountain on California 3, accessing Wairika, the city of Gary's earthly commencement. Having acquired an address, the family making a stop to visit of Gary's cousin Pat O'Toole and his wife Shirley, a 30-year lapse since the two having greeted each other. One final stop before the beckoning to the invitation of the road, a visit to a relative whose presence is but a remembrance, his Uncle Pete Potter and Aunt Ann. During the last year of World War II, a 4-year-old Mike would walk several blocks to his aunt and uncle's and older cousin Billy's house to visit. Gary finding it was a luminous occasion to reintroduce himself and family to his aunt and uncle. Gary's curiosity was acuminous. Before departing Wairika he aspired to ascertain one more place from his past, the apartment they lived in while his dad was in the army. Gary recalling the name Butte Street. Instinct prevailing, driving to Butte Street, stopping at a residency and taking a picture, the results would be forthcoming from his mother upon the film's development, confirming a childhood memory. The aphorism "you can't get there from here" was apropos, the Wilsons aspiring to travel due west to the Pacific coast and Crescent City, finding the only applicable highway from Wairika to the Pacific coast was US 199, commencing in Grants Pass, Oregon. Once again addressing Interstate 5, the new Chevrolet Cavalier bounded in a northern aperture, the panoramic ambience of the mountainous terrain, its woodland accession a vestige of nature's macrocosm. The first Oregon city of caliber was Ashland, Gary remembering visiting Ashland's Lithia Park the summer he stayed in Etna with his Aunt Bernice and Uncle Sam. The resonant precursor for the remembering was the park's Lithia mineral water drinking fountain. Not aware of the fountain's difference, its bitter taste not a pleasant experience for a thirsty 10-year-old. The interstate knows no limits. Medford came and went, Grants Pass was rapidly ascending on the horizon and the junction of US 199. With the crossing of the Rogue River and a course alteration to the southwest, the scenic 80-mile journey to Crescent City commencing uninterrupted until crossing back into California. Coming upon the Collier Tunnel, named for the 36-year legislative serving California State Senator Randolph Collier, the principal author of the 1947 Collier-Burns Act, which created the California Highway Network, earning him the title, the father of the freeway system. Gary, having heard his name mentioned by his mother as he was a family friend who was born in Etna, lived in Wairika, his political astuteness providing Siskiyou County unprecedented stature. Approaching the Jedediah Smith National Recreation Area with its towering redwoods and ambling Smith River, bringing the travelers to a halt. A time to pause. Gary, Jan, Robert and Sandy disembarking their conveyance, wetting their feet in the cool clear aqueous Smith River waters, a time to reflect on the silent wilderness serenity, with its majestic aura and absorb this temporal meaning of nature's opulence. Gary, self-conscious of the scene before him, the visual majesty of Jan and his two children embellishing the already grandeur of the scenic surroundings, both a luminous presentation of God's earthly creations. The 80-mile extent of US 199 was about to be fulfilled, merging with US 101, 4 miles from Crescent City, the highway's final termination. Gary was surprised with the size of the town, a population of 3,500, all residing in an area of less than 2 square miles. A visual perspective of the town's historic landmarks was enhanced, culminating at the tidal basis of Battery Point. Taking leave of the Cavalier, the family venturing towards a lighthouse built in 1855, positioned on a tiny islet across an isthmus only accessible at low tide. The family discovering a fortuitous reward prevailing, the isthmus was dry, the ocean withdrawing its tidal gift and being of few visitors. The tidal basis way to the islet was a obscured traveled route, but once aboard the Picayune Island an uphill walkway was present. The lighthouse hosts greeting their visitors, introducing themselves, welcoming them to the beacon structure, their perennial home, elucidating about their life on the islet and providing a tour of their living domain. With some exceptions, many of the furnishings were in their original surroundings from a quantum era. A narrow stairway journey upward to view the beacon light, the host couple chronicling its history and picturing folklore stories of the ocean's bellowing force, its crest sweeping across the islet, at times a driven tempest, questioning the fortitude of the occupancy and the anatomy of the architecture. The lighthouse excursion providing a celebrated capsule of California's bygone history, the Wilsons enjoying their conversation with the modern-day lighthouse keepers. The family concluding their acquaintance with Crescent City, and with the remainder of the afternoon available the venture was to continue, the Cavalier journeying south.